Good afternoon and welcome to this Wednesday, February 20th edition of Westman Newsline. I'm Dylan Donald alongside Calvin Henryon and Randy Joseph Lilly. In today's news, the Brandon School Division has announced that school taxes will be on the rise. We'll let you know by how much later on in the show. And Calvin will be in with sports. Calvin, the Chicago Blackhawks made history last night?
That's right, Dylan. The Blackhawks defeated the Vancouver Canucks in a shootout to tie their record books by earning at least 1 point in each of their first 16 games of the season. As well, the Jets were in action last night in Buffalo. I'll have that story and more later on in sports.
Thanks, Calvin. And Randy will be in with weather. Randy, even the temperatures are in the negative. Tell me something positive to get through the rest of the week.
Well, Dylan, there's the, well, you know what, I'll have to get back to you on that one. But currently in Brandon, it is partly cloudy and minus 24 degrees, although it feels like minus 34. Winds are out of the southeast at 20 kilometers per hour. I'll be back later on in the show with your full weather details.
Thanks, Randy. The Brandon School Board taxes will be increasing by 8.5%. For a home valued at $200,000, that will result in an increase of $117 a year. The board's new budget will create 32 new positions ranging from teachers to maintenance and clerical staff. The Healthy Living Center has been the host for the Brandon Bobcats this season, and as of Saturday, the games are done. Westman Newsline went to the new facility to find out more information.
Last weekend, the Brandon Bobcats basketball teams completed their regular season games at the Healthy Living Center. Brandon University Athletic Director Russ Paddock feels the first year was a success, but is excited for when they can have a complete season rather than a short one.
We're really looking forward to next year and be able to plan from the start to be able to make it a great experience for everyone. All the visiting teams that come think it's a great facility, and you know, as well as the public that's here, you know, first-time people in the building, you know, think it's a great asset for Brandon.
From a production standpoint, the new facility has been a huge boost for the university. Brooke Clayton, who is the mobile producer for Westman Communications Group, who airs every Bobcat game, believes the Healthy Living Center is a huge upgrade to the old gymnasium.
For everything that we need, especially for this weekend, it being the last weekend, we're able to do everything perfectly fine. Like, we're able to cover the game, and the quality and everything is good. So there's just a few things that we need to get fixed and adjusted for in the future.
Although the building is not complete, with some construction to continue throughout the year, the Healthy Living Center has been a quality facility for the university, and although its first season has only just ended, it isn't too soon to start planning for next year. For Westman Newsline with photographer Chandler Shirtliff, I'm Randy Joseph Lilly.
RCMP are investigating the death of an inmate at the Headingley Correctional Institution outside Winnipeg. The dead man was a former Winnipeg police officer who was serving time for sexual assault. Richard Dow, who ran a modeling business while also serving on the police force years ago. RCMP would not confirm the identity of the inmate, but say an autopsy was pending. An animal control bylaw implemented in 2005 in Ontario bans pit bulls. Last week, Westman Newsline brought you the story of how this law is affecting the family life of new Toronto Blue Jay Mark Burley. Rather than moving them to be with him, the pitcher is leaving his family and 4 dogs in the United States because one of them is a pit bull. Here in Brandon, 8-year-old Kira is one of the many pit bulls regularly kept indoors because some people are fearful of the breed. But owner Chantal Bach said pit bulls are a misunderstood breed since they can be a good-natured and affectionate dog. Bach said pit bulls have had a bad reputation because of their high-spirited animals.
They are very energetic, so they do get that misconception that they're obviously instantly going to be aggressive, which is very untrue. Our son's going to be 5 in March, and I wouldn't trust any other dog besides my Kira's with him.
Pit bull bans are not currently implemented here in Manitoba. And now with that, let's take a look at where today's money markets are currently sitting.
Westman Newsline, produced by the IMA Media Production students of Assiniboine Community College. Local news, weather, and sports on Brandon's only TV newscast, Westman Newsline, airing at 1 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on WCG TV.
Taking a look at international news, authorities in Belgium are looking for thieves who got away with the kind of loot Hollywood makes thrillers about, $50 million in diamonds. CNN's Dan Rivers reports from the Brussels airport where the brazen heist went down.
It required chutzpah, inside knowledge and some very fast driving. One of the biggest gem heists ever, and the question is, who did it? Who would dare to steal $50 million worth of diamonds from a supposedly super secure European airport? It all sounds like the plot of a Hollywood blockbuster. A rather unbelievable Hollywood blockbuster. The sheer audacity of this heist is breathtaking. They simply drove into Brussels International Airport, flashed their guns and drove off with tens of millions of dollars worth of diamonds. And all without a shot being fired. At 7:47 local time Monday night, the gang cut through a perimeter fence near a building site and drove parallel to the busy runway in 2 cars. They knew where to go, stopping a Swiss airliner holding 3 people at gunpoint, stealing bags of uncut diamonds that had been unloaded from a Brink security truck. The diamonds were being transported from Antwerp to Zurich. Antwerp is the world's diamond capital. $200 million of the stones are transported through this airport each day. Traders here say they fear damage to their status as a world hub could be significant amid rising concerns over security. But experts say the mastermind of this heist will be tough to uncover.
I imagine whoever commissioned the heist would keep it as far a distance as he can, as far as identification is concerned, between himself and the people who actually carried out the robbery.
The thieves were reportedly dressed in uniforms to make them look official. With Europe's open borders, they could have driven to any one of 24 European countries by now, with the loot that's extremely difficult to trace. Dan Rivers, CNN, Brussels.
Gamers are gearing up for a huge announcement from Sony. The entertainment and consumer electronics company is expected to announce the highly anticipated successor to the PlayStation 3 video game console at an event this evening in New York. Maggie Lake explains why Sony has so much at stake in the next generation device.
Sony needs to get out in front early if it has any hope of regaining its lead in the gaming industry. This week, the consumer electronic giant is expected to unveil the 4th generation of its PlayStation gaming console.
And this is a crucial play on the way.
There's a lot of pressure on Sony right now. They have to justify that it's time to move from the PlayStation 3 era to the PlayStation 4 era. They need to justify that PlayStation still matters, because we hear about Nintendo all the time and we hear about Xbox and Kinect. PlayStation has kind of faded a bit, so they need to reassert their relevance.
There hasn't been a new console from Sony in 7 years. During that time, Microsoft's Xbox has taken the lead in the US market, with Nintendo's Wii a competitive third. Globally, Sony is still the #1 console maker, but that may also be shifting. Consumers are increasingly downloading games on their smartphones and tablets instead of buying consoles. For new consumers, apps are often cheaper and easier.
So who's kicking? Are you kicking?
No, I'm receiving. You're kicking. Oh no, it looks like I'm kicking. No, wait, no, I'm receiving. It's a competitive playing field, but don't count Sony out yet.
Sony's advantage that they have over Microsoft, if they have any advantage, is that they have amassed a bunch of exclusive game development teams all around the world. When we see what Sony unveils with their hardware, we should also be looking to see what games they show, because just that one perfect game, like we saw Wii Sports define the Wii, could change everything for Sony.
Maggie Lake, CNN, New York.
That's it for news, but stay tuned. Randy's up next with Newsline Weather.
Good afternoon with Newsline Weather. I'm Randy Joseph Lilly. We've had some brutal weather in the last little while, and although it will improve, you will still need to prepare for the wind chill. It won't be as bad as it has been, but it won't be a pleasant walk in the neighborhood either. Currently in Brandon, it is partly cloudy and minus 24 degrees. Winds are out of the southeast at 20 kilometers per hour, and as a result, it feels more like minus 34. This evening, it'll warm up to minus 17, although it will feel more like minus 27. There is also a 60% chance of precipitation. Overnight, it'll improve by 1 degree to minus 16, and even the wind chill will be slightly better at minus 26. There will be a 70% chance of precipitation and winds will stay the same. Taking a look at our radar image, you'll notice just a little bit of precipitation outside of Brandon. Moving to our satellite image, there is light cloud cover for the next few days with a little heavier cloud cover a little later in the week. Moving to our 5-day forecast, now we're expecting some snow tomorrow and on Sunday. Otherwise, just some partly cloudy skies. Winds are pretty mild and the temperatures will look a lot better than they are now. Let's take a look around the region. Winnipeg's in at -22, Portage La Prairie -26, Dauphin is in at -25, Neepawa, Carberry, and Minnedosa are at -24. Killarney is at -22, and I'm jealous of everyone in Verdun. It's -19. Seasonal norms for this time of year are a high of -7 and a low of -18. The record high was set way back in last year when we saw a temperature of +7.8. It was a good day. The record low was -38.0 in 1986. Once again in Brandon, it is partly cloudy and -24 degrees here in the Wheat City. Winds are out of the southeast at 20 kilometers per hour and it feels more like -34. That's it for weather, but don't go anywhere. Calvin's up next with Newsline Sports.
Good afternoon with Newsline Sports. I'm Calvin Henryon. It was a not-so-beautiful day in the neighborhood for the AAA Wheat Kings during their outdoor practice at the West End Community Center rink last Thursday. The Wheat Kings went back to hockey's roots by playing outdoors in the frigid winter cold. The Wheat Kings have had an outstanding season this year, winning the Provincial West Division, posting a record of 31-10. That's made the Wheats a favorite to win the AAA Provincial Hockey Championship. The push for the title will begin in the second round as the Wheaties have first round bye. Wheat Kings coach Ken Schneider has high hopes for the up-and-coming playoff games.
Yeah, I like our chances. I like our chances every time we play, but at the same time, you're only as good as your last shift, so we'll see how it goes come playoff time.
The team will be playing the waiting game until they find out who they'll be up against in the playoffs. The Winnipeg Jets defeated the Buffalo Sabres on the road with a 2-1 win in goaltender Andre Pavlik's 200th career NHL game. Andrew Ladd scored the game-winning goal in the middle frame, which helped the Jets snap a 3-game losing streak. Patrick Kane and Andrew Shaw scored in a shootout, and the Chicago Blackhawks beat the Vancouver Canucks 4-3 on Tuesday night to match the NHL record for season-opening point streak. The Blackhawks joined the 06-07 Anaheim Ducks as the only teams to gain at least 1 point in the first 16 games of the season. Chicago will go for the record Friday night when it hosts the San Jose Sharks. Police say they found 2 boxes of testosterone and needles in Oscar Pistorius' bedroom, but his defense lawyer says it was herbal remedy and not banned substance. Detective Hilton Boda made the revelation in a bail hearing today, a day after the Olympian was charged with premeditated murder in the shooting death of his girlfriend, Reva Steenkamp. Boda said police made the discovery but offered no further details. An International Paralympic Committee spokesman says Pistorius was drug tested twice last year and both were negative. And Dylan, that's all for sports.
Thanks, Calvin, and that's all the time we have for you today, but be sure to join us again tomorrow for Brandon's only TV newscast, Westman Newsline.